So the third book you're writing, and I know these books are forms of separation, but so we've established what the immortal reality
That's because
is.
I can only write so much at a time.
We disappeared the universe through the illusion of ego. We've clarified them more. And the third book deals with what?
Deals with the experience of love, but I think that it's important to emphasize that you don't have to go looking for love when that's where you're coming from. It's kind of like the experience of coming from a place of love. As A Course in Miracles would put it, teach only love, for that is what you are. It also says, what you teach, you learn.
Right.
You know, so you're really the student. It looks like the students are out there.
So that's why you travel around the country every week, in order for you to understand the power of this forgiveness. And
well, I don't know if that's why it started, but that's certainly the result that's coming about from it. I mean, my divorce, for example, which I'll describe in the book, was a totally different experience than it would have been, and it actually ended up rather miraculously with my wife and I being friends, and kind of like, you know, I talked to her on the phone all the time and email her, and you know, we had a totally different experience, and she had gotten back into A Course in Miracles after we split up, which I didn't know, and what came about from all of this was a totally different outcome than what would have happened if we were both in a reactionary state and still, and we were upset with each other for a while, to be sure, and but through both of us practicing forgiveness, it actually turned out in a great way, and part of what the book explains is how, you know, things really give you a different quality of life if you choose this kind of forgiveness that results in this experience of love. And there's a lot of other good stuff in the book too, a lot of fun stuff.
Oh, that's
and
good.
like people have been asking, oh, have you found out who Arten is in this lifetime? You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, right, because he must exist in this lifetime.
Yeah,
sure.
and I have a feeling, I can't say officially.
You have a feeling it's your wife, right?
No, I have a feeling that that's going to be revealed in the third book, but I can't really say because my publisher wouldn't be too happy.
Oh, so you have a, oh, I see. So we'll just, what's the third book called?
It's called Love Has Forgotten No One.
Love Has Forgotten No One. And so you have a feeling these teachers are going to appear for our fourth and fifth book as well, probably, right?
They said a couple of things to me in the third book that led me to believe that probably they would. It's always my decision now. You notice at the end of the second book, they kind of like, you know, turned it over to me and said, look, we want it to be your decision if we show up again. And they said, you know, why don't you wait a year and see if this is the kind of life that you really want to live. You know,
it seems like you do. You seem like you're enjoying.
Yeah, I had my doubts for a while. There were some things that happened which are described in both the second and third books, which kind of like, you know, made me take a step back and ask, you know, is this really what I want? But I think when I was at Omega Institute last summer teaching a workshop, there was this guy there, a great guy named Joe. He was a Vietnam veteran. And he came up to me and he told me about how when he was in Vietnam, he saw, you know, some really terrible things and did some really terrible things. Felt terribly guilty about it. Had nightmares for like 30 years. And then he explained how he read The Disappearance of the Universe, got into A Course in Miracles. He was able to forgive himself. The nightmares stopped. He was sharing this with other Vietnam veterans. And I think that was the instant when I realized, yes, of course I want to keep doing this kind of work.